All right, guys. Hopefully, I am getting good audio. Hopefully, I have seen there's some opportunity here to have a conversation that I try to have on a give or take yearly basis because I think that it is very relevant in our business and something that I think that a lot of us leave for granted every time that we go through a business planning method. So everybody should first off be in a massive planning method right now in real estate because in our business, we need to understand that it is a business and we need to plan for what's going to happen next year. So this comes down to things like goal setting, into things like contract, interpretation, what we anticipate, what type of business we want to run. Do we want to run a listing heavy business, a buyer heavy business, or do we want to have a variant of a little bit of mix of both? And then the conversation that we're going to talk about today is where do we receive our leads from and how do we want to receive those leads? By the way, just as a full fronted note, I want everybody to understand that I don't reject or tell anybody that any of the three of these directions are ways that you should not do business. And the reason I think that is because we need to understand that everybody has a type of business that they want to run. All we have to figure out is which one you personally want to run because I help a lot of people with their business. I help them grow their business. And I really realized a long time ago that nobody's going to run their business like I am running mine. They're going to run their own type of business and they're going to grow their own type of business as they see fit. But the only way for that to work is for me to help facilitate what they find as a trajectory for supervision. So let's step back a second and let's walk through my own personal career and where I've been over this time. So I started out as a very organic agent. I made phone calls every day. I called expireds. I called withdrawals. I called old listings. I called all these things to try and generate traffic. Once I had a listing, then I would work every lead that came in through the actual sign. This was very organic. It was very profitable and it had a lot of great opportunity. But as the business started to scale, I moved into, and Zillow came into the market. I moved over to a lead purchasing agent and I left a lot of the organic side of the equation on the wayside because it was a lot easier and a lot more scalable to grow a lead purchase opportunity. So I spent a lot of time with Zillow and Realtor.com and all these other facets where you could pay somebody to generate that lead for you. And then all you had to do is just make sure you work it. And then that could be very profitable for you as well. Um, Over my career, I found that that was a very difficult solution because every time I went back to get some more for scaling, I found that they wanted more money, not only for my lead gen that I already had, but they also wanted more for additional. And then they started pitting me against other agents and selling the products that I had, what I believed exclusivity to other agents as well. So this grew into a habit that I actually moved away from purchase leads. And I did this because I felt like I needed to get back to my roots and get back to the organic method that I had created over time. Now, this was a process and it took time, and I never suggest that you do what I did. I just cut off cold turkey. Cold turkey hurt pretty bad because I went from a lead base down to nothing really quick because Zillow and I got in a fight and I did what every kid does whenever he doesn't get his way, and I took my blanket and went home. That didn't work out that great for me, and it took a lot of time to figure out how am I going to fill this void with organic based leads. So what this comes down to is now I've gone back into a fully organic business that I do advertising, but I'm not paying for leads. Now, what does this mean for you, and how does this kind of relevate into your business? Well, each person needs to find out how they want to grow their business. If they want to grow it organically, which I do suggest because it has a profitability that is longevity over time, meaning that if you go out and buy leads, if the market turns into a different type of market, those leads will cost you more and generate less. So therefore, as the market gets worse, you actually are paying more to keep up the same business. Whereas in an organic method, it's consistent, whether it's a good market or a bad market, it's always consistent because those leads are coming in organically. So the question comes down to where should you go in your business and how should you put it into perspective? Number one, ask yourself this question. One, do you have the money to purchase leads? The nice thing about purchasing leads is it's a quick action into the business. But in that same token, if you listen to Brian Buffini, he says that this is as good as Zillow any day because this probably has a database of leads that are already in play. It's just a question of how you work this database, because everybody that has these phones has a database that they can work, or a sphere of influence that they can work. They also go shopping every day. They go out to restaurants every day. They do these things that can generate leads. So buying a lead is easy. Generating a lead does become more difficult. So the question is, which one are you going to go? And you can do a healthy mix of both. It's just a question of, like I said, your business model. And that's why, stemming back to the beginning of our conversation, we want to make sure that everybody understands that there is different ways to own this business and how to be successful in this business. There is lead generation, there is lead purchasing, and then there's the other part. And I mentioned earlier that I wouldn't be bad on any of these circumstances. This one I'm going to have an issue with. So if you just put a sign in the yard and hope and pray that things will happen, and you got that sign in the yard because it's a friend or a family member, that is not the correct way to work this process, right? Letting somebody else sell your leads or sell your homes while you could do it yourself and generate additional buyers, you need to realize that there is a part of this business that grows organically, even if you don't want to be an organic business. Because if you take care of your clientele, they're going to come back to you. If you take care of those phone calls that come in on sign calls and even refer them out to buyer's agents, that still is going to be a much more profitable method than just hoping for another agent to come through and sell your property. End of day, what you need to do over the next month or so is take time, an hour or two, it's all it really takes, to sit down and decide what you're actually going to do for next year. What is your overall goal? How many leads and how many people do you want to sell homes to? How many listings do you want to pick up over the year? If you have something that you can tangibly look at and look at it on a regular basis, you will be more successful in this business. But you have to put something down in writing. You have to put something down in a format that will allow you to grow for success. So, going back to the lead conversation, remember, there's no real wrong way to do it. There's just a paid direction and an organic direction, or there's a mix of the two. You just have to find what works best for you. And if you need help or assistance through that, give me a call. I'd be happy to walk through where you're at today and also help you through the next stage, because I see a lot of people that are buying leads from Zillow, and that's great because they're having success. Let's just make sure that when the market shifts, you don't have to pay Zillow more to get that same amount of sales, but maybe we can fill that gap with organic business. Guys, thank you for your time. Hopefully this was helpful. Once again, it's me on a soapbox. I understand that is not always as beneficial as me maybe actually sitting there and going through a technical resource, but I want you to understand that I went through this migration. I've lost a lot of money. There was a point where I was spending almost $10,000 a month with Zillow and another $3,000 or $4,000 a month with Realtor.com. $15,000 a month spent on leads was very beneficial, and I was getting a good ROI. But as the market shifted, having that organic business has become much more profitable. And using books like Profit First and using these resources to make sure that my business is more successful have been much more beneficial to me. That doesn't mean I should have cut it off cold turkey. It just means maybe I should have looked at it and maybe scaled in a different direction. So once again, if you have questions, if you want help on how maybe to transition into a bilateral market where you have paid and organic leads, I'd love to have that conversation. Give me a call, 915-256-6989. And guys, remember, we have other video series as well. We have Tea with Andrew, which is a broker galore. He comes through and gives you all the new stuff going on in Texas. That is on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And we also have Kent and Andrew coming with fundamentals class, and that is at 2 o'clock on Thursdays. Guys, these are all live on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook channel. If you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the comments. We try to get back to them as soon as possible. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. And it's Christmas season. Make sure you get your tree up. We've got ours up here in the office. Have a great day, guys. See you later.